Hello everyone and welcome. I'm back. Welcome for another video. What I'm going to start doing now is showing my own framework with these videos and how it all works. My book's coming up very, very soon. It's a week, I think, of editing. I'm going crazy editing and I'll edit it forever if I don't stop. So here we go. My name is Phillip Alcock, by the way. Welcome, and here is my craft framework. I miss Craft Vegemite, by the way, if anyone wants to send it to me. So let's have a look at how it all works. First of all, we have the create side. So this really sitting with the problem, the context, the audience, the goal, sort of this actual situation. What are you trying to do with AI right here? Then we look at the regulation. Regulation is standards, misconceptions, learning, the resources that you have. You may not be able to do particular experiments and different things. You have to know that. So think of the regulators really, ticking those boxes and getting it up to speed. So you start with create. You have your regulate, and then you have automate. Automate is the sides that I'm really trying to talk about, the workflows, the blueprints. You don't really need to be creative once you work out how to automate. You just get more efficient, I would say. When it comes to these other last two is fit and test. Of course, this is something that people do. They're going to make sure that, does this fit? Does this look like AI slop? Sometimes just one picture that's AI looking can derail things. And, teachers always have great judgment. They know their students. They know, will this work for their class? But try and take note of that. Don't just sort of go, yeah, this will work because. Why is that working? Why are you changing it? And then test it. Not every AI thing that it advises you is going to be a good idea. So what's working? Does a good project work? Does a play-based experience take away from the learning experience? Does a game-based Minecraft kind of lose the momentum of a great science study that suddenly became tech focused and took away? So think about, we don't do that enough as educators. We also don't talk about it enough to actually, how did this go? What's working? What's not working? And how can we continue to build it so it has the same loop of what's going on? All right, enough of me blabbing now. Okay, so I'm going to be teaching myself the Spanish numbers 1 to 10 using my craft framework. So in here, I've just put in the numbers. I just got this from Google Gemini very easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know how to say the things, I just can't remember them. So there we go. We have the Spanish numbers 1 to 10. What am I going to do now? Well, I want to create a slide deck. I could create a mind map. I like just looking at them, but for this, not really needed. So I'm going to create a slide deck. And so this is where I'm sort of thinking about what's my outcome of how I'm learning and things like that. I'm going to show you a prompt that I prepared earlier, and it basically looks like this. Can't make that bigger. So we're going to create the 12-slide presentation that teaches and practices the numbers 1 to 10. I've put them in there again for ultra beginner learners. And so then I've chosen a ninja comic art style throughout. Bold black ink line work, dynamic, all of that. I got all that from AI. I just asked it to explain the sort of ninja artwork a bit clearly. And then it basically says what the number is, number 1 to 10 in Spanish, and it goes in sequence. And then it tells me sort of the way that I want it to look. And what I really wanted was an active learning task in every one, not just like something to remember. I don't know what it's going to come up with, so we'll see. It's something that I could look into. But I'm thinking like, say number 1, go and find one thing, or I don't know, ask for one thing. I speak to my wife or my father-in-law and I can ask them for things. So I kind of like, I want this to be practical for what I'm doing. I want to practice it. So that's really important for me. And there's lots of different things. AI came up with some of these ideas, count objects, number the words, point and repeat. So I'm just going to see what it comes out with. It's okay. I mean, sometimes these things work, but over time, I'll work it out. Which ones do I like? Which ones don't I like? Which ones are working? Which ones aren't working? And this becomes a sort of prompt. You can then go back to this. The next time I go back to learning, say the numbers 11 to 20, I'll go in and I'll adapt it and things like that. So just that own self-study with craft is actually really good. So then I'm trying to fit it in. Where does it fit into me? Well, I like project-based learning. I like hands-on stuff. I've tried doing all the audio and other books and it's not working for Spanish. So I'm doing it very project-based and also a little bit inquiry-based, based on things that I might be interested in. Numbers, I need to work out. That's it. I'm speaking to people. good morning, good afternoon, how are you going, what my name is. They seem really simple, but for some reason I get confused. I get overwhelmed. There's so many words. I don't know any Spanish. Well, I do now. But now with this, I'm trying to, I guess with my own personal learning as well, and the way that I'm testing it on myself is really how I'm engaging with it and how I enjoy it, really. If it's boring, I'm not going to engage with it. I had tasks set up of co-work sending me emails every day, and I found it just boring because I did it and that was it. This one is giving me the numbers, and then I can then use these numbers and practice them. Once I get more confident, then I might think of a project where I could go and ask for different numbers of things in a store. I can go to the grocery store and ask for, 7 avocados or something and just practice it that way. So that'll add my practice side. I'll be creating my own worksheets as well. I want to capture my learning, and whenever I type and write things down, I find that I learn better. So I'm going to print them out, and then I'll create my own sort of learning missions where I'm actively doing the work. And that's, I guess, that's for me is my own personal project-based learning. It uses craft. So I'm sort of using this to generate my own way of learning. But at the same time, I'm also improving my fluency. I'm improving how I'm working with AI and all those things. And it's pretty fun. This is a good thing. I want to learn Spanish and I'm motivated to learn it. I'm going to be living here. So hopefully I'm going to be learning it and getting outside and speaking to people and starting some education Spanish kind of things eventually. So off we go and generate. Simple as that. That uses my craft framework, and hopefully it works out. It's a simple framework. I'll be going and talking a little bit more about it as we go on, and how you can really adapt those parts so you can have much more creativity, and then how the regulation works. How does it work with standards? How can you assess things? How can you assess skills in those things? They're all really important things. Okay, so as you can see, it's all done. I've got my Ninja Spanish. Vamos a contar. And as you can see, letter, point and repeat. Press your finger to the red. Say no loud 3 times with firm authority. Count objects. Point to the 2 training scrolls above. Count them aloud in order. 1, 2. Perfect. I like it already. It fits, and that'll be fun for me. I'll print them out and put them in my room or something. Have it look cool, but there's a little taste of my craft framework. Hope it makes sense. I'll keep doing lots of videos like this. Everyone,